Getting started in just a min. Link any stories in the Discord. Check out Waldo's videos https://www.youtubecom at Waldo Videos.
Oh, hi, how you doing? My name is, what is my name today? My name is Waldo Santos, and I am here to feel the politics with you. That's what I do. I come online about 10 o'clock every Saturday, and I look at the politics headlines, I tell you about them, we feel them together, and then we turn them into YouTube videos. I appreciate anybody who's here, anybody who's paying attention. Please hop into chat, say some things, and uh, we will feel it all out together. If you got any links, you can throw them into the Discord, probably. I know you can throw them into Discord.
Discord. https discord gg beignet tritix 8.
That's right. And if you're lucky, you can put links into the chat. I don't know if it's possible. I double checked the settings today and clicked on it that said, yes, you're allowed to post links, but every time Shinseto tries, it fails and doesn't post, which is strange. Because I double checked the settings and it says specifically that you're allowed to. So I'm not entirely sure what or why it's not working quite as advertised. Uh, but with that, we'll give it a moment. And before we get started, I'll try to post. I can post links all day. It's easy. You know, I'm not sure anybody else is capable of doing so. Not sure why. It's very strange. But yeah, I've been playing a ton of Warcraft lately. Uh, past 2 days, I've been going nuts on that new Classy Plus WoW server. Very exciting, very fun. But today is for the news and the politics, so that's what we will work on today. And maybe I'll play a little bit more tonight. And I would be spending all my time doing that anyway, so I've just been streaming it. I got like 10 hours of it on that first day. Very exciting. 10-hour long stream. Wild. Terrible. Bad idea. Nobody should do that. But I did it anyway, and I'm going to do it again. And as a and the bark boys are distracting me. They're barking, but that's okay. It's fun. So let's get started with the first big, super important news: the debate. Where's that button? We're there. We go here. We go to main screen, and then yeah, there we go. Go to the window capture on, the game capture off. Window capture goes to that one right there. Oh God, it's all jacked up. Let's put it in the right place. Place. Let's go over here. There it is. So, these two goobers had a debate, and I wanted to like watch the whole thing, but apparently you can't because it's locked behind a cable paywall. You have to have cable and then have watched it live, and then maybe like you can watch it on cable or something like that. Nobody online has the whole thing. I even went so far as to like try and pirate it, and that wasn't happening because they're propping up a diet system. Sean Hannity belongs to a cable company. He belongs to them. They own him. And they said, we need more people to watch cable TV. So put up a spectacle. Only put it on cable TV and do not let the internet have it. Yuck. We hate the internet. We are a cable company. Uh, so it is very hard. I can't find any place to watch the entire thing online or on a computer. So what we're going to do is watch these stupid little clips because that's what happens now is things in the world happen, then they get chopped up and turned into 2-minute clips and sound bites so that people on TikTok can see it. That's the reality you live in now. I'm sorry. I tried to be better, but I couldn't because they just will not allow it.
Is sitting on his hands. He refuses to take care of the border. He refuses to hold the drug cartels accountable. This is the vision of Biden, Harris, Newsom.
I support border security. I think the asylum system is broken. I believe that we need.
I understand that.
I'm the only guy here that's a border state governor. You're trolling folks and trying to find migrants to play political games to try to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump. And by the way, how's that going for you, Ron? You're down 41 points in your own home state.
Biden. Damn, hitting him hard. I mean, it's true. I think Newsom's onto something there. Like the he's going for the center there with the asylum system is broken. But he could be saying that from a left-leaning perspective, being like, yeah, those asylum systems are broken. We shouldn't have so much issue with the people coming across the border. If they come across, great, find out who they are, get their names, write them down, make them temporary status, and then give them a path towards citizenship. That would be a fix to that broken asylum system. That would be fine with me. So perhaps he's troll. He's sneaking. He's sneaking on the centrists right there. Is what he's doing. He's taking a left-wing position and giving it to the centrists and being like, hey, yeah, it's broken in the center. Come over here to us on the left. Won't it be fun? Hannity interrupted him. Like, there's only 3 minutes on this video, but that's not a surprise. Hannity is a shameless hack who has only one goal, and that is make Republicans money and then give some to me. That is his goal. That is Sean Hannity's goal. Sean Hannity has a goal, and that is get Republicans more money so that they give some to me. That is his goal. That is his purpose. That is what he does with his life. All right, let's keep going.
Administration the last 3 years. It's been a master
Joe
class
Biden
of job
paying you
creation.
tonight?
3.9%.
I thought this was state versus state.
Joe Biden paying you tonight. Good God. Come on, guy.
No, but it's about the United States of America. I thought this guy was running for president of the United States. If
You
you're
are
running
too.
for a
You just won't admit it.
running for a third term,
You
sounds
just
like
won't
you're
admit
running
it.
for a
You will not
third-
admit it.
Is
Because he can't. If he says I am running for the presidency in 2028, certain financial laws start to apply to him. When you say that sentence, I have created an exploratory committee for running for the president of the United States. Certain tax laws start applying to you. Certain campaign finance laws apply to you, and those are onerous and they're difficult and they're painful, and you don't do it 5 years before you start. You know, because he's not running at 24. Newsom isn't. He's running at 28. And he's trying to get out early. This is the early. You know, trying to get everybody to pay attention right now.
Joe Biden experiencing this cognitive decline? Is it a danger to the country? Do you find when he speaks, what is your reaction to it?
Yes, he's in decline. Yes, it's a danger to the country. He has no business running for president. And, you know, Gavin Newsom agrees with that. He won't say that. That's why he's running his shadow campaign.
We'll take Joe Biden at a
Shadow campaign. Shadow campaign. Very spooky. He's very scary. Look at him. Just look right at him. Spooky.
100 versus Ron DeSantis any day of the week at any age. You had
We're not
quarantine.
I agree. Joe Biden had 100 with Alzheimer's, still better than Ron DeSantis. I agree.
False.
You had quarantines. You had checkpoints all over the state of Florida. By the way, I didn't say that. Donald Trump laid you out on this, dead to right. You did that.
true.
You followed science. You followed Fauci, Ron DeSantis.
That's not false.
He followed science.
That's not
He
true.
followed.
You had more kids locked out of school for a longer period of time in California than anywhere else in the country.
Because they were spreading a plague, Ron. They were spreading a plague.
It was the working class kids. It was the middle income kids. His kids were in private school. They were in class in person.
Slow down. I want everyone to be
I doubt it.
heard. If I can ask you, I really do want this to breathe. I want this debate to breathe. I want it to organically develop. To do that, I need both your cooperation. I don't want to be a hall monitor. It's not my style, all right?
This is a book that's in some of the schools in California. Florida, this is not consistent with our standards, called Gender Queer. Some of it's blacked out. You would not probably be able to put this on air. This is pornography. It's cartoons. It's aimed at children, and it's wrong. So this should not be in schools.
Those books, do you believe that's appropriate for school districts to teach kids, yes or no?
Come on, those aren't. It's not part of the curriculum. They're not teaching
Those
kids
are
that.
those are books that were in school.
Hold on.
I don't believe him. I don't think those books are in school. I could still be wrong here. If that book is in school, I don't want it there. But then it's not part of the curriculum. Newsom's right. If that specific page is in there, that is not a good thing. But I don't think that it is. I think that Ron DeSantis is lying. I think he's exaggerating. I think he is. I don't believe him. He is a well-known exaggerator. He's probably exaggerating.
The bottom line is you are on a book banning binge, your state. 1,406 books, 3,362 in this country.
You didn't
That's a lot of books.
answer.
Florida's
What about
leading-
those
no,
books?
Florida. That's not, we don't provide for K through third grade education, that kind of curriculum. It's just made up. These guys make it up. It's part of this cultural purge.
Should it
it's
be-
just a
you-
made
what grade-
up agenda.
what grade would it be
What
acceptable?
what I
What
find
grade?
offensive, Sean and Ron, what I find offensive is a very significant number of these books happen to be LGBTQ books.
Joe Biden is in the pocket of the teachers union, and so is Kamala Harris.
Good. That's great. I wish that the teachers union had more power, more authority, more everything. They need more people. They need more teachers. They need more money. They need more power. They need more authority. They need to be bending all the laws towards themselves. Yes, good. You know who complains about teachers' unions? People who don't want your kids to learn.
That's why they
And
fought
by the way, it's
school
not
openings
Kamala Harris.
when he
Shame
came
on
in
you.
there.
It's Kamala
when they had
Harris,
that in
Ron.
there.
It's Kamala
Biden came
Harris,
into office
Madam
and he
Vice
brought in
President,
teacher
to you,
union
Kamala
to be
Harris.
able to.
He needs it.
This is a map of San Francisco. There's a lot of plots on that. You may be asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco.
Because all you get is clips, because the internet hates me. But this, what is this? This is the Salon, left-leaning organization that suggests that Newsom humiliated DeSantis on Fox News. So, let's see. Oh, we've got a Trump quote. Here we go. Ron DeSanctimonious is acting like a thirsty, third-rate OnlyFans wannabe model. Trump knows the word thirsty. Be careful, folks. Be careful, universe. Trump has learned the word thirsty. Wannabe model and an actual president. Third-rate OnlyFans wannabe model than an actual presidential candidate. Instead of actually campaigning, he's trying to run around his dismal poll numbers. DeSantis, did he change the name right in the middle of that quote? Okay. DeSanctimonious is a very long word. Maybe he got tired of typing. Is now so desperate for attention that he's debating a grade A loser like Gavin Newsom, who's going to run for president and probably win in 28. At the rate Ron will flail his arms and bobble his head wildly, looking more like a San Francisco crackhead than the governor of Florida. This isn't a prediction, it's a spoiler. Hopefully for Ron, it's a seated debate, so he won't have to mash his foot into his high heels and look taller. But if not, he'll definitely be on a 12-inch step stool so he can peek right above the podium. You want to say something about policy, boss? I would love to hear his ideas for policy. Where does he disagree with Ron on maybe border security or how to foreign policy or how to use the military, Ukraine, anything? Does he disagree with him on any of those things? No? Just mean girls? Calling him thirsty? Saying he wears high heels? And then he posted this. I think we can watch that.
All right, welcome back to Debates That Nobody Really Gives a Shit About. I'm your host, Sean Hannity, and tonight we have the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, and Florida's Governor, Ron DeSantis. Let's begin.
I mean, it is funny, but that's what Trump is a stand-up comedian. That's what he is. He's a clown. He makes people laugh. So he's posting a bunch of jokes.
All right, first question. Have you ever betrayed the greatest president to ever live, President Donald J. Trump?
No.
What kind of question is that? What the hell?
Very
Betrayed. Victimhood. Victim snowflake. Sounds like a snowflake. Trump, you sound like a snowflake. Whine and cry. Cry and whine.
simple question, but let's try the next one. Are you a short, insecure little man that likes to wear lifts inside your cowboy boots? Yes or no answer, please.
No.
You know what? My wife bought me those lifts, and I happen to like them, okay?
He's even using a stepping stool. I can see it from over here.
Governor, we clearly said no step stools. You either get off of it or you're leaving this stage right now.
And there you go. The former president and currently running for president, Donald J. Trump, doing a comedy routine. Because that's what he does. Because he is a clown. Literally. An actual, honest-to-God clown. He really is. Hannity was much kinder to DeSantis than that, but it didn't help much, as DeSantis certainly didn't help himself. Questions were all loaded with statistics in favor of DeSantis, and putting Newsom on the defensive. I don't think there was even one data point that he presented that put Florida in a more negative light. So it was up to Newsom to provide context and correct the record, which he did quite effectively. For instance, DeSantis was programmed to insist that Californians are moving to Florida in droves, which he did approximately a dozen times. And maybe those Fox viewers were convinced, but it's just not true. As Newsom pointed out repeatedly, per capita, more Floridians have actually moved to California than the other way around. Hannity threw one question after another right over the plate to DeSantis, but he was the one who ended up on the defensive as Newsom not only stood up for his state, but made a great case for Joe Biden on Fox News, which was the whole point of the exercise. So that's great, I think, that Newsom would go there and talk about how you should vote for Joe Biden. That's great. That's good news. Let's watch this one.
Came into your state because of the CHIPS and Science Act, one of the most significant economic plans since FDR. I'm proud of the work Biden and Harris have done.
Would you like to respond? And
Why did you not play properly?
Time. Let me just
I do have a follow-up.
Hey, Ron,
in California.
Ron, I'm happy that you continue to talk. Let's talk a little bit about Bidenomics, because I'm happy to take that on right now as well. And I think it's
You're
a fair
big
point.
supporter of it. I appreciate you acknowledging
14 million jobs, 10 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents.
This is what
combined.
Biden should be doing every day.
15,000
Talking about how good he did.
3.9%.
Are you kidding me?
3.9% unemployment. As he continues to talk over me, I'll talk to the American people. 3.9% unemployment, the lowest black unemployment in American history, the lowest unemployment for Hispanics in American history, the lowest unemployment for women in 70 years, the lowest black poverty rates in history. That's this administration's agenda. And by the way, as you smile and smirk over there, you should know this, the American people. Here's a guy who celebrated Bidenomics just this week, celebrating $28 million that came into your state because of the CHIPS and Science Act, one of the most significant economic plans since FDR. I'm proud of the work Biden and Harris have done.
would you like to respond?
That is what Biden should be saying. He should be out there, but maybe he hasn't started yet. Maybe he hasn't started yet. But that's what he ought to be saying. They ought to follow what this guy has done and then do that themselves. They smart about their COVID response, because of course they did. With DeSantis making repeated fatuous comments about Newsom going for the French Laundry restaurant during the lockdowns, but Newsom got the better of the argument by pointing out that DeSantis wants to have it both ways by portraying himself as a defiant contrarian on the mitigation measures, when in fact he called for all of them early and then decided that it would be in his best interest to prematurely repeal all of them, resulting in many unnecessary deaths. DeSantis claims it wasn't true, but it certainly is. Yeah, DeSantis said, oh yeah, lockdown, and then his fans said, oh, we hate lockdown. He's like, okay, never mind, sorry, no lockdown, we hate lockdowns. California, 2,560 COVID deaths for every million residents. Florida, 4,444 COVID deaths for every 1 million residents. One of those numbers is bigger than the other. In other words, Florida's raw death tally, 86,000 in early March, came close to California's total, 101,000, despite California having roughly 18 million more residents. They have 18 million more people, and they were relatively the same, they were close to the same, in deaths, because Florida did a worse job on COVID. It is true that Florida has a large senior population, but that should have argued for DeSantis to be more cautious, not less. His legacy on COVID is shameful, and the fact that he actually brags about it is mind-boggling, because it doesn't matter. The fact that he actually brags about it is because facts and things don't matter to Republicans. DeSantis does not push a fact-based argument. It's all feels. He feels like COVID lockdowns were bad, so he's against them. He feels like California's a dangerous place filled with poop, so he talks about it. That becomes the fact. They also argued about crime statistics, with DeSantis accusing Newsom of presiding over crime wave, while Newsom pointed out that it actually declined precipitously for the past couple of decades. One set of statistics, which Hannity showed naturally, has California having more violent crimes than Florida, but Newsom responded correctly that Florida actually has a higher murder rate than California. So this is a very typical thing within debates. They have higher crime, and then you're like, well, yeah, because we have more people. But then you're arguing over specific points on the graph. Yeah, but they have higher murder in Florida. This is bad for debate. This is bad. This is using statistics in a dirty way. And you can find a statistic for anything, honestly. And it's not the best part of debates, honestly. Because then you have people coming in afterward, and we'll watch this guy come in afterward as well, to and me specifically too, come in afterward and start pointing at the things that they did wrong, or this was correct, or this was bent, and so this is the never-ending life cycle of debates. That's how it works. I wonder if or when they would discuss abortion. So he's a serious problem for DeSantis due to his draconian laws he signed. First for a 15-week ban and then a 6-week ban. A few months later, Hannity tried to nail Newsom with the right's tiresome question about whether it would outlaw all abortions after a certain period of time. But he didn't get very far. Newsom said that these instances are exceedingly rare and are almost always because of tragic fetal anomaly, which is correct. If I were a politician, I would always use this example of a real person in the situation and then ask them whether or not politicians and judges are competent to make such complicated medical decisions. Most people agree they are not. Right. But again, conservative Republican people want judges to make those complicated decisions for others. That's the trick. That's the loophole. Conservative type people want to make all their own decisions, and they want the judges to make the decisions for others. That's it. That's conservatism in a nutshell. I get to make all my own decisions, and the judge gets to make all your decisions. Conservatism in a nutshell. I'm going to turn that into a short. That's conservatism in a nutshell. I want to make all of my own decisions, and I want a judge to make all of your decisions. Sorry, I have to move it there so that I can make a short, because if I make shorts out of this screen, it doesn't look right. So I have to swap. Being on a live stream is hard. Just kidding. It's fun and great and awesome and easy, and I am so good at it. DeSantis pretty much stood there like a potted plant, obviously wanting to get past the subject as soon as possible. Just yesterday, a poll was released showing that 62% of Floridians, that's the state he's a governor of, want to vote on the right to abortion up to 24 weeks. In the state constitution, that includes 52% of Republicans. He just made a huge mistake in judgment on that one. And the Dems need to be pointing this out, but they don't because they're wieners. Dems are wimps. They're wieners. They don't go for the jugular. They don't find those problems and then just bite and then hold on to them and win. They don't want to win all that much. They want to very politely, very calmly, very chillly be in second place. That is my biggest complaint of the Democrats, is they like being in second place. One of the most jarring aspects of the debate was that throughout, DeSantis kept bizarrely talking about poop. That's right, poop. This is actually an old right-wing obsession going back to the civil rights marches, the Vietnam War protests, and most recently Occupy Wall Street. There are always tales of rampant public defecation, and they can't stop talking about it. DeSantis seems to have a particular fetish about this poop problem, as illustrated in this bizarre moment. Let's watch him talk about poop again.
Off the streets. We've also invested in unprecedented resources in reforming our behavioral health system. Ron has literally the worst mental health system in America, forgive me, outside of Mississippi and Texas. And so with all due respect to being lectured on some of these topics, Ron DeSantis is not the one I'm going to be listening to.
30-second response. You're, well, I'm looking at total time. Governor DeSantis,
look,
about 2 minutes.
He needs it.
This is a map of San Francisco. There's a lot of plots on that. You may be asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco. And you see how...
That sounds like a capitalism problem to me. And as usual, almost all of our problems come back to capitalism. Why are those people pooping in the street? Because it's not profitable to put them into a house because they have no money. Or it's not profitable to build safe, working public facilities where they could poop.
Poop map.
Poop map is what happens when capitalism runs amok. Why do those people live in San Francisco? Because it has decent weather. Because they live outside. Those people live outside because capitalism has not given them a way to earn a living and money, and they cannot give that to a landlord. They cannot live within a house or home or apartment because they have not the money. They have not the means to do so. That's a capitalism flaw. That is a problem within our capitalistic system. It is a problem. We could fix it, but then no one would make any money. It would cost money to fix, and then the people in charge wouldn't make quite as much. So it's not going to happen. If saving 1 million homeless people in upset a capitalist bottom line, they wouldn't do it. If it loses them money, they won't do it. If it doesn't make them money, they won't do it. And that is the severe problem within the system that we have. We have problems, but they only get solved if somebody can make a dime off of them. That is a flaw of capitalism. And the only thing that can combat capitalism is a government. So a government then has to come up with some sort of plan, like Section 8 housing or cheap, effective housing that costs almost nothing, and you have to apply to, and then you move into it, and then we monitor you and take what we can from you, things like that. That's all a government program, but nobody wants that government program. Nobody wants to be a part of it, and NIMBYs don't want it in their backyard. Don't put that Section 8 housing near me, because that lowers my property value. Capitalism, again. The poop map lowers the real estate value of all of those things in that area. So capitalists ought to be in favor of fixing that problem. But again, that costs money down the line. They want the government to take care of all the difficult things so that they can make as much money as possible. And that the government isn't strong enough right now because it's filled with half of the government is Republicans who want the government to stop doing everything. So we can't solve the problem because of Republicans. PolitiFact, which fact-checked much of the debate, if you're interested, explains what that's all about if you want to know. Apparently DeSantis' hapless campaign thought it would be a good idea to showcase him on a friendly network because it would give him a chance to talk about how great Florida is. The problem is that there isn't a Republican primary voter on the planet who hasn't heard him drone on endlessly about what a fantastic job he's done in Florida. And frankly, they're sick of it. But that's what they got last night with a laundry list of culture war talking points that merely shows DeSantis watches the same shows they do. It's possible that a few people came away thinking they should give him a second look, but I doubt it was more than a handful. So it's odd. Yeah. He goes on there, does the basic bitch Republican stuff, which they get on Fox News literally every single night. And Gavin Newsom goes on there and acts charming and impressive.
There are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engaging. Now, I remember in the 1970s, so offended by the Brits as different as daylight and darkness. You want to bring us back to a pre-1960s. For 2020, he did all of that until you're down 41 points in your own home state.
Smiling and acting is hard. I agree. That's why not everybody's an actor. Smiling and when you're not feeling it is very difficult. I personally, even all through my life, when I'm getting my picture taken, I'm in front of a photographer or something like that. You get family pictures. Your mom's doing a thing. Hey, it's your birthday. Hey, here's your photo. Smile, and I feel it. I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, smile for real. And I'm like, I don't know how. Acting is hard. If you're not actually smiling is actually quite difficult. So I'm not too mad at him for that. He's not a very good actor, but neither am I, which is why I don't act. Everything I'm giving you here is real and 100% authentic. Pure 100% authentic Waldo is what you get every single day. Unless I'm being sarcastic. But even then, I'm a sarcastic person, so that's authentic, right? Newsom probably made a few new fans. Yeah, exactly. Newsom got new fans among the Democrats who turned out to watch the cage match. He was loose and confident, and why wouldn't he be? He's not running for anything. The point he made clear when he archly declared that the one thing everyone can agree on is that neither of these two were going to be president in 2025. The debate was best summed up by former Republican strategist Stuart Stevens, who quipped, "In the history of American politics, Ron DeSantis will go down as the chump who not only lost every debate in his race, but also lost to a guy who isn't even in the race. That's talent." Yeah, it's true. He lost he's losing to Nikki Haley right now, and he's losing to Newsom, who's not running this year. He's running in 5 years from now. And Ron DeSantis will again try in 5 years, and he will lose again. So that'll be fun to watch. Let's see. If we can find any more clips from the Twitter. Here we go. There's his weird face. Let's watch this, because we all get clips because the internet hates you.
And he consistently puts up.
By the way, do you see that risk, Governor Newsom?
Hold on.
Governor,
I mean,
do you see the risk?
Joe Biden put out not only a comprehensive plan, he consistently puts up plans. Hold on, no, but Sean,
is there a risk?
We already did this. Let's see. Here's the Mean Girls moment.
And I want to answer that very directly. I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here to tell the truth about the Biden-Harris record and also compare and contrast Ron DeSantis' record and the Republican Party's record as a point of contrast that's as different as daylight and darkness. You want to bring us back to a pre-1960s world, America in reverse.
Backward, reverse, yeah.
Hard-earned national rights, on voting rights, on civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's rights, not just access to abortion, but also access to contraception. You want to weaponize grievance. You are focusing on false separateness. You in particular, Ron, are on a banning binge, a cultural purge, intimidating and humiliating people you disagree with. You and President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire. So, Sean, there are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engage them. But there's one thing in closing that we have in common is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
Damn. He's right. All culture war, all the time. And what was the thing? Yeah, they're moving backward. They want to go backward. I've been saying it for a very long time. Many years. Republicans want to move the country backward because they think it was better back then. They're afraid of the new stuff. They're afraid of the progress. They're afraid of the blue-haired NBs. They are afraid of the future because it is scary and unknown. They want the past. They want the pleasantness of the 80s. But in the 80s, you know what Republicans wanted in the 80s? The 60s. And in the Republicans in the 60s, you know what they pushed for? You know what they wanted? Those Republicans of the 1960s, they pushed for the 1940s. It's all they have. It's all they ever have been. Backward facing. Always. Always backward facing. And that is why I don't appreciate them. I generally don't appreciate them. I can imagine maybe a wild scenario where we went too far into one direction with, I don't know, some AI or human cloning or something along those lines, and we would need to roll back a little bit. I can imagine, I've seen enough sci-fi, I can imagine a wild-ass scenario where we are now like cloning people and then murdering them immediately and then it's like stealing all their organs. And there are hundreds of thousands of clones of me running around, and I paid to have them out there, and they're committing crimes and stuff like that, and it's all my fault, and I genetically engineered them to be psychopaths who just murder and rape and steal and bring all the stuff to me that they steal and make me a bunch of money. I could see that being very wrong. That is progress. It's not good progress. It's progress in the wrong direction. But we would need a conservative type person to drag us backward away from that. I could imagine something along those lines. I don't think it's a realistic thing that we could do. If you progress properly, if you plan to move forward in the right way, you're fine. So those are our two options at the moment. We have we have the mediocre Dems who do nothing, and the backward-facing Republicans who move us backwards. If we had an actual left-leaning party, if we had leftists in the Democratic Party, if we had a leftist party, which we don't, they would be discussing how to move us forward properly. What is the best path to tomorrow? What is going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen next week? What's going to happen next year? What are the steps we need to, what are the milestones that we should be looking for? But that's hard. That's difficult. And it's easier to just scream about blowjobs in kids' books. That's easy. Anybody can be against that. It's very easy to be a conservative Republican. That's what I'm telling you. It is easy. Because you can just make stuff up. Maybe I should watch this guy. Where are we at? We're at 51 minutes. Yeah, let's watch this guy. This guy, apparently, California lawmaker, delivers a brutal fact check following the Newsom and DeSantis debate. Let's see if he does actually do that.
Televised debate between the governor of my state, Gavin Newsom, and the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. And it was set up as sort of a comparison of the two states' models of governance and which is the better model for other states and the country to follow. And while it is true that Florida has done quite well in any number of areas, really the comparison could have been made between California and virtually any other state in the country. Because when it comes to the key metrics of economic performance and quality of life, California is the very worst state in the country. And despite that, we have a governor who went on television and in fact has for months, for years now, been trying to claim that California is in fact leading the nation. He has said time and time again that California is a model for the nation.
It's almost like you can use stats to say whatever you want them to. You can use statistics to say that you are leading the country, as Gavin Newsom does, or you can use statistics, as this guy is about to do, to say that California is the worst state. There are lies, dirty lies, damn dirty lies, and statistics.
He has said the future happens first in California. And indeed, it is true that the current administration here in Washington has copied any number of California's policies. And in fact has elevated many of California's officials. Julie Su, the acting Secretary of Labor, held that position for Governor Newsom. Of course, Vice President Kamala Harris, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Javier Becerra, was formerly California's Attorney General. Alejandro Mayorkas, Douglas Parker, the head of OSHA. So this is a matter of great national concern, is to really look at the facts of what has happened in California. And what the governor tried to do last night, Governor Newsom that is, was to present a complete alternative reality using false, misleading, in some cases simply delusional assertions about the true nature of life in California. So I wanted to take a moment today to correct some of the misstatements that were made by Gavin Newsom in last night's debate. First, there was a discussion of the California exodus. And the governor refused to acknowledge the fact that people are leaving our state in record numbers. In fact, he even asserted that more people are moving to California than to Florida. Here's the reality. Between 2019 and 2022, 1,044,000 people left California, while 737,000 people moved to Florida. So many people have been leaving California that the state literally did run out of U-Hauls. In fact, for 3 straight years, California has led the nation in U-Haul departures. And what is so notable about this is that prior to the Newsom governorship, California has gained population every year since our founding in 1850. We have always been the state that people want to come to, the state where anyone could get ahead. And now we're the state that so many people can't wait to leave behind. And so it was this just completely abrupt change in the trajectory. While California continued to grow, and then Governor Newsom took office, and suddenly we are leading the nation in departures. We have the highest out-migration rate in the country. And in fact, it is even more stark when you look at San Francisco, the city that Newsom was the mayor of.
I have heard that, and I have been hearing that for a while. If Newsom has different things, then Newsom very well could have been lying with those statistics. He could have picked a specific statistic that does a certain type of person or a population or something like that. And then he's using the damn dirty statistics as well. Both sides can lie with the statistics, though I don't think it is that big a deal. I don't think it's that important. Is that a shockingly important thing that California is losing people while Florida's picking them up?
Of the city represented by Congresswoman Pelosi, the city that Vice President Harris is from. This is a city that is on the verge of collapse. Those aren't my words. That's the editorial page of the San Francisco Chronicle.
It's not going to collapse. San Francisco is not on the verge of collapse. What does collapse mean? Conservatives say that all the time, but it doesn't mean will it cease to exist? No. Is it a ghost town? Will it all the buildings be empty and only
the
ghosts
working
live
California who could afford to live left California to retire in Florida.
Florida is the retirement place. You're right. They leave, they go there, they work, they earn the money, and then they go to Florida to retire.
This is a city where businesses are leaving seemingly every day, citing the intolerable conditions in that city. In fact, San Francisco right now is losing residents faster than any major city in United States history. That's right. San Francisco is losing residents faster than even Detroit when Detroit went bankrupt. So what is Newsom?
That is capitalism, man. If they can't make money, they will
Thanks,
leave.
text collapse.
thanks tech collapse. That's right. But at the same time, yeah,
Tech.
yeah, the tech folks came in there during COVID. They all moved their jobs to offsite, and the people work from home now, and they don't want to come back. Return to office is a thing that Amazon and Microsoft and Twitter and stuff like that, or not Twitter, but a lot of the other tech companies are pushing for people to return to their offices, but the people don't want to. And the companies, the tech companies that do not push that return to office are going to be the ones that get all the talent, because the people do not want to return to those offices for lame Christmas parties and bad commutes and less work. You literally get less work out of a person who is a tech person, especially, who has to travel for an hour and a half to get to their office, do computer work for 8 hours, then drive for an hour and a half back home. You get less out of them than if they were staying at home. I think return to office is a bad idea. I think it's a bad plan for all these big tech companies to do, but they're doing it because they have real estate, and that's the shitty part is they're possibly making money off of real estate. Real estate, again, capitalism. All our flaws, all our problems in this country always come back down to capitalism.
Newsom talking about when he actually said on live television that there's more Californians or more Floridians going to California than vice versa. Well, the reality is that actually it was a very, you can do a direct comparison. Over 50,000 more people went to Florida than came to California. Vaccine passports each and every step of the way. California COVID-19. Here's the reality. California had the single most draconian and longest lasting lockdowns in the country when it came to school shutdowns, business shutdowns, church shutdowns, when it came to mask mandates, vaccine passports. Each and every step of the way, California had the highest level of government coercion and
Good. You absolute buffoon.
control. And yet the governor gets up in last night's debate and started to say, no, Florida was the lockdown state, which, is truly boggling.
He didn't say that. All right, we're done with this guy. I've had enough of you. Yeah, good. I'm glad that California locked down. That's a good thing. There was a plague that was killing lots and lots of people, and we didn't know how or why or how to stop it. Yes, a lockdown is antithetical to freedom, but you cannot have any freedom if you are spreading. I don't defend someone's freedom to spread a plague. I don't defend someone's freedom to die from a mysterious illness that no one knows how to treat. That's not a good part of freedom. That's a bad outcome from someone's freedom. So we have to know where the lines are. Do I support freedom? Yes. Is the left more freedom? Yes. But they put rules on the bad parts of freedom, like murder and spreading plagues. Does the left push against the freedom to murder people? Yes. That's a good thing. Does that mean they're the anti-freedom party? No. The Republicans, on the other hand, do freedom backward. They want to take away what books you can read, but they want to allow you to spread the disease all day long. They want to prevent you from having access to contraceptives, but they want to force you. They want to force you not to have contraceptives, but they would want to allow you to own 1,000 guns and not keep track of them. It doesn't make any sense. They're backward on all the freedoms, man. Not all of them, but most of them. They want to empower Donald Trump to break the law, but they want to hold Joe Biden's son accountable and force Joe Biden to be responsible and guilty for his son's crimes. What? Why are you backward on the freedoms, conservatives? Why are you backward on freedom? Since we're talking about him, there he is. Mr. Donald Trump, very cool guy. His lawyers put forth a motion to dismiss his criminal election subversion case. They denied it. So they just said, hey, we don't want to do this. Dismiss the charges. And then the judge said no. Just no reason, no good, nothing there. They didn't do anything specifically to make their case. They just said, hey, can we get rid of these? And she was like, nope. In denying Trump's effort to dismiss the charges against him, arguing presidential immunity, In constitutional grounds, Judge Tanya Chutkan, who's overseeing the 2020 election subversion case, and his 4-year service as commander-in-chief did not bestow on him the divine right of kings to evade the criminal accountability that governs his fellow citizens. No man in this country, not even the former president, is so high that he is above the law. Whatever immunities a sitting president may enjoy, the United States has only one chief executive at a time, and that position does not confer a lifelong get-out-of-jail-free pass. That sounds reasonable. That is a great sentence that conservatives hate. What specifically about that sentence, conservatives, do you dislike? What is wrong about it? What is incorrect about that sentence? Conservatives, tell me, please, what is incorrect about these sentences that Judge Chutkan has said? Is it wrong? Is she incorrect in suggesting that the president is not a king? Is she incorrect in suggesting that he should be held accountable to the law? I don't know what you want. You just want... I know what you want. You want what you want. You want to feel good. You want to feel like the guy you backed is great. You want to feel like that. She's a radical Democrat. According to Trump's lawyers, this is a radical Democrat sentence. No man in this country, not even the former president, is so high that he is above the law. That sentence, according to them, is radical Democrats. It's correct. It is a good sentence. It's the way we should operate a society. But that's radical to you. Trump and DeSantis will hold dueling campaign events in Iowa, with caucuses just 6 weeks away. We're still 6 weeks away from the actual start of the campaign season. We're still 6 weeks away. So hold on to your butts. I haven't even gotten started yet. Let's see, just 6 weeks away from the January 15th Iowa caucuses, which DeSantis absolutely expects to win. He's 40 points behind. That's not a thing. He's showing up, Reynolds says. He's just not landing, doing an event and heading out. He's putting the time into the state. Okay, that's cool. Trump is dominant in both national and early state polls and held large rallies to event organized caucus goers throughout the fall. Yeah, he's going to win their thing. The issue is that he might be winning when his trial starts. His trial, which might last like 6 weeks, might actually put him in jail. He might be found guilty. What if the Republicans do that? Hypothetical. He's winning. He's won several states. He's found guilty. What do they do? Do they keep running with him? Do they swap to somebody else? Do they swap to Nikki Haley? Do they jump off to Nikki Haley? What do they do with the votes that he's already won? He's going to scream bloody murder about it. He's going to scream bloody murder. Every news organization wants this to happen. Every news station wants this to happen. They all want it. They want it. They're loving it. They would love for Donnie to win a couple of states, be in the lead, and then get found guilty. That becomes the ultimate headline. That becomes the ultimate news story. I'm going to watch it because I think it's interesting and it's politics, because that's what I do. I pay attention to. But not so that I can, like, have a good moment. I want to... My interest in politics is the rules of society and the world I have to live in. The news organizations are doing it to get clicks, to get revenue, to get money. I'm doing that slightly but hopefully, maybe, if I get the clicks and the money and the views, I can push people to the left, hopefully, because that would make a better society for me, for you, for everyone. Move left to make the world better. And if I could do that, maybe, with a goofy YouTube channel and a stupid live stream from my house, that I should, and I will. But yeah, that is going to be the big story. He's going to be in the lead. He's going to be found guilty. What do? Do they swap it? He's going to scream. His fans are going to riot, literally riot. If he's found guilty and put in jail, there will be human riots. There will be burning buildings. There will be gunfire. There will be pipe bombs. It is going to get nuts. And that is probably, what, 6 months away? So 6 months away from the nuts. Got a Discord message. What is it? It is garbage. Bots sending me invites. Drama. That's right. Drama llamas. Lots and lots of drama. We're 6 months away from the big, big drama. Let's see. So that is there. Who's that guy? Cool guy right there. He's probably a nice, pleasant, friendly guy, right? This is George Santos, and he has just been kicked out of the House. Santos is now the 6th lawmaker ever expelled from the House. He rode out with drama, accusations, and a shot at the press. So these are the 5 important things to know. The Santos balloon. Who could forget the 15-foot balloon replicas of Santos that welcomed lawmakers back to D.C. this week? It tumbled and sailed and appeared to turn cartwheels. I want to see the Santos balloon. I can't read the rest of this. Good God. I hate you, Internet. Oh, maybe I can. There it is. Look, he's got a balloon. He's now a cultural touchstone. He's got a balloon. You don't have a balloon. I don't have a balloon. The balloon, which reads "full of lies," was courtesy of progressive organization Move On Political Action. It didn't stay long, but it was captured the Hill's attention with mentions everywhere from Fox News to People Magazine. That's fun. Representative Max Miller accuses Santos of stealing from him and his mom. Mr. Santos took not only credit card personally, he took my mother's credit card personally, and he swiped them both for an additional $5,000 marketing as it was an overdonation. Representative Max Miller. Dude, he's just stealing credit cards. He's just snagging people's wallets. He's just lifting people's wallets. This is amazing. Miller, who is Jewish, why do we have to point that out, was also critical of Santos's campaign of claims of being Jewish, which Santos later clarified as Jew-ish, one of the most memed moments of his career. Oh, I did not have the balloon on screen. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Look, he's got a balloon. I don't have a balloon. Cool, a balloon. Santos has denied stealing campaign funds along with other allegations detailing the scathing report from the House Ethics Committee. Santos' responded to Miller's diatribe Thursday by calling him a woman beater. Referring to claims that Miller's ex-girlfriend that he hit her. Miller has denied the accusations. Okay. Hey, Santos steals your wallet and then Santos calls you a woman beater. That's, oh man, he's just the meanest girl. He's the worst mean girl. He's not even like good at it. He's not funny and clever about it. He just does crimes, and then when you complain, he responds to things that happened to you 10 years ago. It's his wedding anniversary this week, apparently. This week not only marked the end of Santos' time in the House of Representatives, but it also marked his 2nd wedding anniversary to his husband, Matt. Happy anniversary to my partner in life and to my rock, who has not skipped a beat over this past few months. He said on X, formerly Twitter. Let's see. Matt is a new character to most DC politicos. The internet exploded with intrigue after Santos mentioned him in a post about a death of Senator Dianne Feinstein. Santos later said he didn't know where the hard launch comments came from, but posted a picture of him and his husband in Santos' now former workplace. So that was nothing. Thanks. Curiosity about Santos' Ferragamo loafers. We're talking about his shoes now because he is a mean girl. We have to talk about their attire. His attacks on the press. There you go. Something interesting. Santos called the New York Times reporter Grace Ashford, who broke the story of many of Santos' lives, by name. You all know me because of her, saying it was interesting to see her there. Well, that's what the press does. George, my man, George, my guy, listen, that's what the press does. They follow and report on the people in the government, the important people. You, George, won an election. Some people said it was weird that you weren't saying things that were true, so the press investigated. And then now we know about you. Why would it be weird for her to be there? Do you not understand how the system works? Do you not get that the press follows these people around? People like you? A person you volunteered to become? It's now been 11 months and I can come to a very sane conclusion. All these news outlets that are very much struggling to make money to pay reporters to cover Capitol Hill should really cut back on personnel. I have been recycled for 11 straight months on headlines because reporters are lazy. Nah, George, listen. You're still in the news because you are a gigantic super liar. And we need to know what you're doing and why. You are a terrible person. You are a blight upon our country. And that's something the news ought to cover. George Santos, you are a blight. You are a danger. You are a severe flaw within our system. And it needs to be covered by the news and the reporters so that they can see what's going on and tell people not to let it happen again. An informed public is required to have a properly functioning democracy. And they are informed by reporters following you around, George, and telling us what you've done. Let's see. Okay, that's all for that. George Santos seeks revenge. Oh no, he's gonna get revenge. Dun dun dun. He's filed to vow an ethics complaint because those matter. Motherfucker, the Supreme Court is just ignoring all ethics rules right now. And they're going to file a complaint against members of the House. Okay, great. On Friday, more than 100 Republicans and Democrats voted to get rid of him. Santos hit back on X, formerly Twitter, because that's its name now. In a series of posts, he wrote that he will report 4 of his former colleagues, 3 Republicans and 1 Democrat, who voted against him in the Office of Congressional Ethics. Those listed were New Jersey Democrat Rob Menendez, Republicans Nicole Malliotakis, Mike Lawler, and Nick LaLota. Reached out to their offices. What is he complaining about them for? Filing ethics complaints for this questionable stock trading since joining the Ways and Means Committee. Mother of God. Insider trading. The thing that we all know that they all do and would like them to stop. Please stop insider trading. All of you. I would like that for that to happen. It's not going to happen. They used to pass laws about it. Now they don't. Then Nancy Pelosi repealed those laws because she made tons of money from it. So does, I want to say the richest person in Congress was Darrell Issa, and he was a Republican, and he made lots of money from insider trading and trading stocks. This isn't a new thing. This is a thing that we've all known about. George Santos, did you not know this was a thing? Have you been paying attention to perhaps politics for the past few years? Have you ever thought about passing laws? If a goober if you randomly pick a person off the street and ask them about insider trading in Congress, they might not know about it. But you know who should know about it? The person who was elected to make our laws. That's you, George. That's you. You ran for a position. We didn't just randomly scoop you up off the street and say, hey, you're a representative now. You ran for that position without knowing anything. That sounds like a bad thing. You should know a thing before you run for a thing. Let's see. Questionable finance violations, almost nothing. He does seem like some rando they picked up off the street. That is true. Maybe we should just have like the rando position within maybe we should just have the rando position within the House of Representatives. Yeah, every district has their people, but then we just draw a lottery of everybody who's registered to vote, has a driver's license and all the right stuff. The random box of Cracker Jacks. Yeah, but what you do is there's what 538 districts or something like that in the country, or is it 412? It's a lot. There's like 500 or so districts. So what you do is that every one has a lottery, and they just pick one at random, and that person just becomes for the next like 4 years the representative of that district. Will they vote left? Will they vote right? Nobody knows. Who knows? They could be a complete and utter crackpot. But I think that would be fun. It would, and they would fall into his category. I would worry that they would become insider traders, and then the lobbyists would start buying them stuff, and they would get stuff. But at least it's regular Americans getting that stuff, and they can only be around for 4 years. So it's not like you're making them a permanent part of our government. They come in for 4 years, and yes, did the lobbyists start buying them and trying to persuade them? Yes. Are they likely to fall for that? Probably. They'll probably just vote for the person that gives them the most money. But I would make some laws to prevent that. But then, yeah, they would throw a wild card in there. Wild card. That's what our government needs. More wild cards. I'm only halfway serious about this idea. It is a dumb idea, but it'll be fun to watch. George Santos may be gone, but there will be more of his kind, and I think this is correct. House Republicans reward carnival barkers while they create no incentive to do the actual work of governing. Again, this guy is on board with me, Eric Garcia. Good point, Eric Garcia. They reward the carnival barkers. They reward the clowns. Donald Trump is just a clown. George Santos is trying to also be a clown. He has seen the clown show and said, man, I could do that. That's why I'm a streamer. I saw a handful of jackass streamers who were playing video games, talking politics, and I was like, dude, that's what I do every day. Why don't I do it too? Maybe, just maybe, I could do it too. They have bread and new trend politicians. Yeah, they don't even have the bread anymore. You got to work your ass off to get bread these days. So yeah, they are just clowns. That is what the Republicans want. They want a fun show. They want a politician that can say the things they like, repeat the magic words, and be fun to watch. Let's see what this guy has to say about it. If he's got any end points that I want to read. All of these people do not want to deal with or do not have the ability to deal with George Santos, and the people who live there deserve proper representation. So he's not representing the people. Is there anything else here? This is a long one. Reading through. Okay. And usually the best stuff is right there at the last sentence. The House GOP's unwillingness to police itself means that more figures like Mr. Santos will enter the people's house and coarsen democracy even more by turning it into their platform to soft launch their quest for fame. Political influencers. That's all that they're going for. That's all they need. That's all they want. Be a political influencer. Become a political influencer. Get elected. I think J.D. Vance does this as well. And I think that's what Vivek is running for right now. Vivek knows that he is not going to be the president. He knows. But he needs to get his name out there. He needs to be on TV so that he can get a job on Fox News, so that he can get the Twitter followers, so that he can push his books, so that he can make some money. And then if he accidentally does actually win a position or get in the cabinet, which is entirely possible, it's entirely possible that a Republican wins and puts Vivek in the cabinet, because Vivek is not going anywhere. Vivek is better at this clown show than Santos. Vivek is much better at this clown show than Santos. So Vivek is going to be in the cabinet of the next Republican president. There's no way around it. That's happening. The next time a Republican wins, Vivek is in the cabinet. No way around it. He is younger than me. He is one of the youngest people to ever run for president. He is going to be a part of American politics for the next 50 years. Until he's a doddering old 80-year-old like Biden. That is a name I'm going to have to repeat for a very long time. It's a guy I'm going to have to listen to for a very long time. And let's see. Good news. Court orders Texas to remove floating buoy barrier that drew backlash from Mexico. The floating death buoys are getting removed. And Republicans are very upset, I would imagine. I bet they're upset. So these things have like sharp edges in between all these orange floating things, and people go under them, they get cut, or they go over them and they get cut and die. Or you go under them and you drown. Let's see. 1,000. They were going to put up 1,000 more of these things. The order sided with the lower court decision in September that Abbott called incorrect and has predicted it will be overturned. Let's see. On Wednesday, a federal judge allowed U.S. Border Patrol agents to continue cutting razor wire the state installed along the riverbank despite the protests of Texas officials. So that's a weird sentence. On Wednesday, a federal judge allowed U.S. Border Patrol agents to continue cutting razor wire to get rid of it. For months, Texas has asserted that parts of the Rio Grande are not subject to federal laws protecting navigable waters, but the judges said that the lower court correctly sided with the Biden administration. It considered the threat to navigation and federal government operations on Rio Grande, as well as potential threat to human life on the floating barrier. Abbott called the decision clearly wrong on a statement on X, formerly Twitter, because that's its name, and said that the state would immediately seek a rehearing on the court. This is what I wanted to know. Thousands of people were crossing into the U.S. illegally through the area when the barrier was installed. The lower court district ordered the state to move the barriers in September, but Texas appeal temporarily delayed the order from taking effect. The Biden administration sued under what is known as the Rivers and Navigation Act. Great. Nearly 400,000 people tried to enter the U.S. through the section of the border last year. I wanted to know if anybody's dying from these white razor things, and if we still have the sharp bits, but they didn't explain it very well. All right. Well, MTG is going to try and impeach Mayorkas for this too. For the razor wire thing, MTG threatens impeaching everybody. She fills out the paperwork, and nobody takes her seriously. She is another one of the clowns. None of her none of Maytag's impeachment inquiries go anywhere. She says she's going to do it. She talks a big game on social media, but then she fills out the paperwork and nobody cares. Nobody pays attention. There are two worlds. There's a world on Twitter and there's a world inside the actual government. Those two things are near each other, but for Maytag, they don't actually coincide. They don't touch. She never takes her crazy social media nonsense to the real world, and when she does, the real world laughs her out and knocks her down. Get out of here. We don't want it. None of that makes any sense. We don't like it. You didn't fill this out right. This is not going to go anywhere. Nobody's going to vote for this. But she lives in the imagination world, and that is the problem that I have with most conservative Republican types, is they live in an imaginary world where the things that they say and accuse on social media are facts. And that is the issue that we're having with Hunter Biden. I did a video about it today. I don't know if anybody watched it, but Hunter Biden wants to come discuss and testify, and the Republicans have told him no, because they don't care. The accusation is all that matters. But I've gone over that too many times, and I am done for today. I appreciate you being here, KBP. Thanks to anybody who's a viewer. If you're watching, please click the follow button, click the like button, click the subscribe on YouTube. And what am I going to do? I'm going to turn these into YouTube videos, put those up on the thing, a couple shorts, maybe almost. I'm at 95 subscribers. I might be at 100 by the end of this weekend, if I'm lucky. Triple digits. Oh my God. Triple digits. Maybe. But then, what else am I doing? I might play some more WoW tonight. I might stream it. I might not. I don't know. And that will be my weekend, because I don't have a whole lot else to do. I've got some housework stuff to do. Got a couple of things to do. And then playing WoW all weekend. And on Monday. I'll probably stream it all day Monday. KVP's playing the slots. Look at this cool guy. If you are here, if you're paying attention, if you're watching, you can hop into chat. Every time you chat, you get 5 points. Every time you get you can spend the points to play slots, just like KBP here, who lost 50 points. That's sad. I'm sorry. But if you want to be like KBP and you want to be cool like him, come in here, do some chats, check out the videos. There's the videos, cool emojis bouncing around the screen anytime you pop them out there. All the fun stuff. So my name is Waldo Santos, and I appreciate you being